show which will help you to level up in life with remarkable and fabulous guests, just like my guest today, Nigel Risner. Nigel was at my show, I think, around 4 times so far. And the reason why he keeps coming back because he's truly phenomenal. Phenomenal speaker, phenomenal coach, phenomenal person in overall. And today, without telling more, we will speak about how to have an amazing life because the title of today's show is Less is More. So, Nigel, over to you. What do you actually mean by this intriguing title, Less is More in 2022? What does it mean?
So let's go right back to basics. And Peter Thompson, who's a phenomenal coach, he has a phrase called forward to basics. So
Mm,
let's strip everything back. What do we
yes.
actually want? What do
Mm,
we want to do? And let's really strip it back to really basic levels. And instead of asking what do you want, ask a better question, which is what's missing in your life?
love that.
So when you really strip it all back and you go less is more, what do you actually want to achieve in 2022? So more time with your family. You don't have to go big. Just what does that look like? More fun, healthy. You see, what happens is if you're involved in speaking or involved in coaching or you're involved in therapy, we think more information, more detail is the answer
Mm,
to getting more clients. In fact, it's nearly the reverse. People
yeah,
want simple ways of doing stuff
totally.
and making it easier. So in 2022, I set a challenge for some of my coaching clients, which was called a million step challenge. So a million
Oh,
steps in 80 days or 90 days.
wow.
Now,
Okay.
that's either 12,500 steps a day or 11,000
Yeah.
or 11,500 steps a day. I mean, 1 gallon of water a day, no alcohol, but that's the whole of the challenge. But you've
Right.
got to do it for 80 days. And if you fail, you've got to start all over again.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Now,
Okay.
here's the point about coaching. This was about commitment, focus, tenacity, consistency, commitment, accountability.
Mm,
Now, if you have an iPhone, your steps come up on your phone. If you have an iWatch, every time you move, you get more steps. So if you have an iWatch, you're doing more steps than if you just got your iPhone.
that's true.
If you don't drink alcohol and just don't go there for the moment, it's a healthier lifestyle. And if you were to drink more water, it's a healthier lifestyle. If you did that for 80 days, I can promise every single person listening their life will change. They don't
Oh.
need more coaching, they need less coaching. They just need to follow a
Mm,
system. If your diet was 3 bars of chocolate and you did it for 80 days and that's all you ate, you'd also lose weight. This is just a
of
more
course.
healthier way. In coaching, one of the problems is we think if we go to a coach and we listen to what they say, but we don't really follow through, we're going to get the following week, we have another coaching session, another therapy session. So when I say
Mm,
less is more, if we strip it all back, we want to have more health. And what we
yes.
do is we spend all of our health creating our wealth, and then we spend all of our wealth looking after our health.
That is so true, Nigel. And so many people are trapping themselves in that forever circle. I want more money because I need to pay now for my health. And how many people are wealthy? They have money, they have everything. And I spoke to these people. I work with these people. They call me saying these words. I have everything I ever wanted, but I'm not happy. And I'm not healthy. Nigel, you just speak the truth and the wisdom. I love that.
So exactly 5 years ago, I had a brain aneurysm,
Yes.
and you'd think that would be a wake up call. It still wasn't a wake up call, and it nearly came about by being challenged by a friend of mine on a weight loss program. That every Monday morning we got weighed, we had to send our photograph to each other, and whoever hadn't lost the most amount of weight paid the other person £100. It was a very simple game.
I love that.
Because you see, what happens to most people, men or women, we want a sophisticated diet program to justify the diet. We want a
Yes.
sophisticated gym program.
Yes.
I don't want to upset anybody, but you actually don't need any gym equipment if you want to be healthy. You can use your own body. Okay. Let's be totally honest about it. I've just lost your face there, Olga. You've gone missing. Okay.
Oh, because I want you to be in the
No, no, no.
spotlight. It's okay, I can stay.
No, less is more. It's easier for me to talk to somebody.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
So you don't actually have to go to a gym. You could do everything you need to do at home. The problem with doing it on your own is it's much easier if you have an accountability partner. So if you went walking with somebody or you did stretches with somebody, you
Mm,
could save a load of money by going to the gym, but just having a partner.
Of course.
If you have a dog and you walk your dog, that's another thing. If you drank more water. What I'm saying is we've made everything very, very complicated to give us a fantastic excuse to have a reason why it doesn't happen. So let's make 2022 a year of really going backwards. So what do you actually want to achieve? But then ask yourself a much better question: what's missing in your life? The problem is when you ask that question, what's missing in your life, it's an emotional question.
Yes.
Whereas what you want is more material, and what's missing is much more an emotion. You'll find your list of what's missing isn't that many. Because, if you look at yourself, you've got health, you've got a partner, you've got, some clients. So that's what you wanted. We've got that bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what's missing? And it might be spending time with loved ones, or it might be spending a bit more time, whatever it might be. You'll find the list is very short.
Mm-hmm.
But if you focused on what was missing, and in 3 months' time you looked at, have I done the stuff that was missing? You'll still always have the old thing that's missing. But the problem when you have a goal about what you want, when you achieve it, most of the time up comes, well, what's next?
Exactly. Oh.
So if we strip it again, I'm going backwards on this. What we want to achieve is, to be a bit more courageous. Be more courageous. What does be more courageous is take one more risk. And
Yes,
people with
exactly.
high self-esteem take risks, and people who take risks have high self-esteem. But what we're doing is we're waiting to have self-esteem to take the risks, or we're waiting that in order to have the risk to have more self-esteem. Just do
Yes.
something, and if it doesn't work, you now know it doesn't work. Find out why it doesn't work and do something different.
Absolutely.
It's not complicated, but the problem is too many coaches, and I've been a coach, too many speakers, and I'm a speaker. We want to make it sophisticated. So I did a program, and I don't know when this will be going out, but I did a program yesterday with 30 chief execs. And it was one of my first speeches this year, and I forgot my memory stick. You're going to like this. I forgot my memory stick, and it was quite a dark room. I said, if there's a flip chart and 2 colored pens, I can do the whole program, 4 hours, one piece of paper. And I said, everything I'm going to give you is going to only have 3 words.
Okay.
Ready, fire, aim. Decide what you want, do it,
Ooh.
and then re-aim.
Love that.
Tell the truth. Act now. Communicate like a zookeeper. Most of the stuff that I said was 3 words and cost no money. I said, but if you did it, what would the results be? And if you don't do it, what are the results going to be? And I said, so now you don't need a budget from finance. Now you can just do this stuff. Of the 30 people, 28 people had a brand new goal plan that cost no money. Now,
oh, wow.
Occasionally you might need money, but if the rest of your team did all the stuff that cost no money, you'd have more money by all the new information and new clients you'd come in. You could afford to do X. So what I'm trying to say for everyone who's listening to your show today is really think about, why do we keep saying, if I had more money, then I'd be happy? Just decide right now what's missing. Do something different today. Look at the results and then do something different. Share what you've done that works with your team. Share what didn't work with your team so they don't make the same mistakes. You see, if you make a mistake once, it means you didn't get it right. If you make the same mistake twice, you're just stupid.
Yes, come on, learn.
But what happens when you don't share is other people in your team make the same mistakes. Now you've got stupid people because you haven't shared, because we don't want to look silly.
Yes.
I'm not that bright. So I make loads of mistakes, share with the team, and then we don't make the same mistakes again. But what do we really want to achieve? And most people want to have a simpler lifestyle. They want to have a little bit more money. They want to have a little bit more time. They want to have a bit more fun. So let's not go massive on all this. But you see, if you go to the gym on the 23rd of January, you'll find it's going to be empty.
Yeah, totally.
So all these people with all these massive plans, but do you remember when we had lockdown? I don't want to get into the government here, but when we had lockdown at the very beginning, March 2020,
yes,
you were told you could walk for an hour, okay? And everyone started walking for an hour, okay? It was amazing, everyone. Now,
twice a day.
Yeah, but because we were told that's when we could. Now, no one said we can. No one's walking, but we're going to pay for gym membership.
I know.
But the funniest thing is, I love that. I heard this line. It said, we spend our time getting up early in the morning to sit in traffic, to go to a gym, to sit on a stationary bicycle.
I don't get it. Nigel, I haven't been to gym for about 7 years now because just like you said, I go downstairs and I exercise downstairs because I don't want just like saying being in a traffic for an hour and then park and then go and then talk to people, having meaningless conversations very often, standing in the queue, using the sweaty machines. No.
But
It's
when
just
it's
a
a
no.
stationary bike, it's more bizarre. You've driven somewhere to be on a stationary bike. I don't get that. Okay.
I know. It's crazy, no?
But and
Without
then
getting
there's one
anywhere
other thing. Most people try and park as near as they can to the gym entrance because
to
they don't
walk
have
less.
to walk too far to then do an exercise training.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to make it seem simple, but it is
Mm,
pretty simple. And I start all over again. What do you want? What's missing in your life? What support do you need? If you answer those three questions with clarity and you just do those three things, life is pretty simple. If
mm.
you take one risk per day, you speak to one more person per day, you make one more phone call a day, you don't need to do much marketing. How many clients do you think you've had? Let's be a bit brave here. In the last 4 years that have rung you up but didn't follow through. How many clients do you think that might be?
Oh, there's always somebody. There's always somebody. But out of, let's say, 10 people, usually there's probably one who takes less actions than
No.
others.
People that ring you up and say, I'd like some coaching, but then it doesn't happen. So let me use me.
Oh, in this type, oh, yeah, there are. Yeah. And they always find some sort of excuse. Oh,
But if
right now
you,
is not the right time. Yeah,
okay, so
plenty.
let's just say you had 50 over the last 5 years.
Mm,
Ring
mm,
those first 50 first before you start doing any prospecting.
mm.
You've already
Wise.
got those names. See, what we hate to do is to do hard work.
Of
But
course.
what we do is we go on a course to get more clients. But you've got people who've already spoken to you once. They've inquired. They may have gone to your website. So just ring them and say, just thought I'd check in with you. How you doing?
Yeah.
Why don't we do a 20-minute session right now about what's going on for you?
Mm,
Because
yeah.
you're going to spend that time trying to find other prospects. You see, for most people, reconnecting with people is hard because
Yeah.
we're scared of losing face. Well, I'm
Oh,
happy to
yeah.
bring clients. Then, if you looked at your existing clients who you haven't heard from for 3 years, but you did a successful job, why
Mm,
don't you ring them? Just
mm,
work with what you've got and go back to people you already know. That's called warm leads.
mm.
Most of us don't want to do cold calling
Yeah.
because the very nature of the word cold is quite intimidating. But you've got warm leads who you've actually
Yeah.
spoken to. They've gone on your website. They've done some sort of sales lead at some level.
Mm, mm.
I want my life. I'm 60 in July, okay, and I want my
Wow.
life to be simple. And I've been speaking. This is my 25th year of speaking. I'm still meeting new people. I have a much fuller diary than most people because I have a lot of existing clients.
Hmm.
But I still get excited when a new client calls me, and then you've got to do a bit of pitching to try and play this game. But
Yes.
here comes the real great bit. I now know what I want and I know what I don't want. And the
Mm.
more risk that I take by saying, you know what, these are the ground rules for working with Nigel Risner. If you want to play with the rules, delighted to work with you. And if you don't, I'll give you a coach that will I'll give you a name of 5 other people. Be a pain in the ass to them.
Mm.
I don't want that in my life. Now, I don't dispute you can't do that in the beginning,
Love that.
but we teach people how to treat us. And if you
Mm.
accept that stuff in the beginning, the clients are only going to get worse. If you set your ground rules up, but see, one of the ground rules I have with coaching clients are I start my coaching session at 1 minute to the hour. So if
Mm.
I have a session at 10 o'clock, we start at 9:59.
I
That
love that.
that means they're there at 9:55. See, what happens if they come in at 10? By the time we've got coffee and tea, they've taken the cut off, they've gone for a wee. It's now 10 past 10. I'm
Yes.
now annoyed, even though the time is going through. I want to start. So my ground rules are we start at 9:59. What's amazing is how every client gets there at 9:45. Otherwise, what happens is they kind of turn up at 10 and then we're slightly pissed off. So I've made my
Mm.
life simple. I've made my clients work with me the right way and I
Yes.
have more fun. But now
Of
here's
course.
another lesson. The more holiday I take, the more money I make.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Now, let me tell you
People
why.
don't believe that.
Yeah,
People
well,
don't
let me tell
believe
you
that,
how this
Nigel.
comes about. I set my holiday schedule even through lockdown when I took
Mm.
time off. I set a
Yeah.
schedule up about what I want to do. But for this year, it is amazing how much work you get done the day before you go away on holiday.
Exactly.
So if you took every Friday off, You'd be
Mhm.
amazed how much work you get done on a Thursday. In the old
That's very
days,
true.
in the old days, and it can sound a little bit sexist here, but it's not meant to be. Part-time women did a full-time job.
Yes, because they had to still do everything that had to be done in a full time, but they could only work part time. And I so agree with you, Nigel. I noticed personally myself, and I'm sure other people as well. My most productive time, the most productive time, is always at the airport before my flight. Always. Because I have a deadline. Because I know once I'm on the plane, there's no Wi Fi and I cannot do anything on my laptop apart from deleting pictures, right? So, therefore, you do more when you have less time. That's so true. And that's why I do actually take 2 days a week, Monday and Friday, off my schedule. I only work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because I listen to people like Nigel and everybody else should listen to Nigel too right now.
No, but
So,
see
tell
what
us more.
happens is, but on a Thursday, that last hour on a Thursday, you do probably 5 hours of work in that 1 hour because you're focused, so you don't have to work on Friday. I'm
True.
sure there are still things you might look at, but
Yeah.
the game is you don't want to work on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the concept for everyone. If you know what you want to achieve, because what's missing is that Friday time, it's amazing what you can get done. If you tell your clients the way you work, so my clients have my home phone number, okay? I still
Mm-hmm.
have a home phone. I give it all to them by saying, if it's an emergency, please call.
Yeah.
How many people do you think have ever called me on my home phone?
Maybe a one,
In
realistically.
20 years. But if I didn't give it to them, they'd want it, they'd want it. And
Oh,
they'd
yeah,
find other
totally.
ways to get hold of me. So I say to them, if it's an absolute emergency, call me whenever you want.
Yeah.
But it's amazing when you give people permission to call you if it's a real emergency, they then think, is it an emergency?
Yeah.
So how do I simplify my life? By sharing with my clients some of my own personal stories. So my clients know I now look after my grandson on a Tuesday. I said, if it's really important, not a problem at all, I'll take the call. But I love looking after my grandchild on a
Yeah.
Tuesday. And I say it
Yeah.
in this way, not to make them feel guilty, but it's
No.
amazing how very few people call me between 10 and 4 on a Tuesday now. And I've been
Oh.
looking after him for the last 4 months. It is amazing how many people call on a Wednesday. But I'm just saying, if you educate your clients, if you educate your family, if you tell your children between 5 and 6, I need to do a newsletter, just don't disturb me unless it's an emergency.
Mm.
It's very interesting what happens when you tell people the way you want to operate. The problem is we're so scared of missing out, we don't
Mhm.
tell people what's going on because we want to get all these inquiries because it makes us feel good. We suffer from FOMO, that fear of missing out. We're constantly
Absolutely.
looking at our likes on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn to see if people are checking it. So if you're writing an article to get likes, you're becoming what's called a taker.
No.
If you're writing an article to give permission, sorry, if you write an article to give people great tips, you're a giver.
Yeah.
Most people are doing something to see the response they get. Don't
Mm.
get me wrong, we all have low self-esteem. We all
Of
want to be
course.
liked. The problem is likes don't pay your mortgage. I've taken
Yes.
testimonials to the supermarket, and strange enough, they never accept it as payment.
I love that. But so true. And so many people, they actually, when you ask them, why do you do social media? Why do you post? Why do you do that? Oh, I want to create impact. I want to make a difference. Then why do you keep staring at your social media?
See,
Let it go.
okay, so the time I do all my social media is when I'm bored. Okay, so I'm
Okay, now
waiting.
I know.
No, but I make it really clear. The timing that I do, if people sometimes notice, I'm waiting for a
Mm,
client. I see something funny, I post it. I don't have a set
mm,
schedule because my brain works in a weird way. So I like to send some stuff out. Some stuff is funny with animals. Some stuff is a little bit serious because it might be 7 tips too. But whatever response I get, I get. But it's really interesting. You can do one post on a Monday and get an enormous response. You can do the same thing on a
mhm.
Tuesday, you don't get any. So if you're
Yeah.
looking for response, and as much as people tell you about algorithms and the way the market works, it's not that I don't buy it, but I don't buy it.
Mm, mm.
All I'm wanting to do is to give my clients some more stuff to play with, which I think will add value for them. What's
Yes.
interesting, and I'm seeing it more and more now, when someone says, that article you wrote in 2012, I've still got on my desk. And you're thinking, how bizarre, because obviously it resonated with them. So if you're just putting stuff out,
Mm,
just because you want to put stuff out, karma says you'll get it back. If you're putting it out to get something back, you really are trying to take from society and give us
mm.
gain. Let me just repeat that. Givers gain. So if you've got clients, send them information. Give them stuff that will be useful for them without wanting something back. The problem is we live in what's called an expectation economy. We expect something back very quickly because I've given this, I expect something back. Well, then don't do it because it shows in your work.
Totally. The
There you go.
neediness. The
20 minutes.
neediness.
20 minutes. Less is more.
Nigel, you are amazing. And we could listen to you for 20 hours for sure. And I wish to have 20 hours with you, but we can't. So let's respect each other's time. And thank you so much for your wisdom. Definitely, this
But
less is more
seriously,
session was
think about
amazing.
it. You can do a lot in 20 minutes if you're focused.
Yeah,
What happens
absolutely.
is most people's meetings are scheduled for an hour because that's the way Outlook works.
They
And
don't need it. They don't need it. No, not at all. No.
so
Most
decide for
meetings.
2022, is it an A-class meeting which needs a decision? Is it a B meeting, which is it's nice to have, or a C meeting, which is a social? So I get involved in lots of A meetings. I only have a 20-minute or 30-minute attention span. So if there's a reason we need to have a meeting, what's the purpose? Let me know in advance. Does a decision have to be made? Are we doing it to generally meet to get together so we can have an idea? I get that. Or is it see a social? I've got enough friends. I don't need another social.
Wow, I love that. And just to clarify, what would you suggest for decision, the general meeting and social in minute wise? Is it 20 minutes for decision and social more or other way around?
If there's an immediate decision, what's the question we need answered? And let's see if we can do it in 20 minutes. You'll be amazed what happens when you set yourself a deadline.
I love that. I love that. Really love that.
When you set yourself an hour, we think we've got an hour to make a decision. We nearly know the answer in advance.
Of course.
Your gut's telling you what we need to do, but we've got an hour scheduled in the diary. Let's have a little chat. Let's have coffee. Let's talk. And there's nothing wrong with social chit chat.
Oh, no.
But we could have 40 minutes on the beach. We could have 40 minutes playing with our kids. We could have 40 minutes in the bar, which most people prefer, or 40 minutes in the gym, or 40 minutes of walking.
Absolutely. And the truth is, there's always general chat for about 40 minutes, and decision is always made towards the end because time is ticking. We have to finish off the meeting. So why to have the 40 minutes general anyways, right?
Exactly.
Bingo,
right.
Nigel, you are just an absolutely superstar. It was so great to have you here. Please make sure you watch our previous videos. Whoever was watching us today, I will share them below. Follow Nigel, contact Nigel. He is amazing, and recently he has done some amazing work for how many SEOs you said?
Yesterday was 30, but I've worked with nearly 3 million people now over 25 years.
Oh my God. So if you want to be part of the next million with whom Nigel will work, please reach out to him as soon as possible. Thank you, Nigel. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you for being here today.
I will see you in Yorkshire very soon. Be good.
I will see you in Yorkshire very soon, that region. Thank you so very much. Bye, everyone.